Berlin. April 1945. Soviet planes roar overhead. The streets are reduced to rubble, and it feels like every minute is the final countdown of the Third Reich. But underground, beneath the shattered city, lies the concrete heart of the empire, the Führerbunker. This was not just a bomb shelter. It was the final citadel of a dictator. The last stronghold of a doomed ideology. Down here, in musty corridors reeking of mold and despair, Adolf Hitler spent his final days. The bunker was neither a fortress nor a palace. It was a trap. Built to protect, it became a prison. There were no windows. The light was dim and artificial, flickering from bulbs long neglected. The air was thick with mold, sweat, smoke, and fear. Those hiding inside knew, the end was near. There was no escape. Only waiting. Only concrete and silence, broken by the thunder of artillery drawing ever closer. The Führerbunker was built in 2 stages. The first level, the Vorbunkar, appeared in 1936, when no one could imagine the war would reach Berlin. The second level, the actual Führerbunker, was completed in 1943, once air raids became a real threat. It lay 8.5 meters underground, with walls up to 4 meters thick. The complex held about 30 rooms, rest areas, guard stations, conference rooms, technical areas, and personal apartments, all connected by narrow concrete corridors. At the entrance stood a double steel door, beyond which began a zone of total isolation. Inside, darkness. Electricity was unreliable, and many rooms were shrouded in gloom. Air came through filters, but the ventilation system was failing. Temperatures were high. Humidity was extreme. Water dripped down the walls. Mold crept across ceilings. And all of this beneath the rumble of the Red Army closing in. Hitler's room was small and plain, about 15 square meters. A military bed. A small desk. On the wall, a portrait of Frederick the Great, Hitler's favorite Prussian king. Beneath the bed, a pistol. On the nightstand, cyanide capsules. Here he slept. Here he ate. Here he issued his final orders. And here, he ended his life. Next door was Eva Braun's room. The decor was similar, minimalist, austere, without decoration. She spent most of her time alone, drinking wine, listening to music, pretending the war didn't exist. In these last days, she was not Germany's first lady, but a woman who chose to die with a man whose empire was crumbling before her eyes. Life in the bunker followed a strict routine, not because order still existed, but because people clung to the illusion of it. Meals were served on schedule. Guards rotated. Typists printed out orders no one would follow. Hitler received daily reports. He raged, shouted, accused everyone of betrayal, Himmler, Göring, even his own army. But in truth, the army no longer obeyed. Germany was dying, and Hitler could no longer control it. Psychologically, the bunker was the rotting corpse of the Reich. No one believed in victory, but no one dared say so aloud. Some tried to flee. Others drank themselves into oblivion. Hitler's doctor, Theodor Morell, had long since fled Berlin, leaving the Führer sick and untreated. Suffering from Parkinson's, Hitler could no longer hide his trembling hands. He ate less and less, fearing poison, trusting only specially prepared meals. The Goebbels family was also in the bunker. Joseph, the propaganda minister, brought his wife Magda and their 6 children. The children played, unaware they were already condemned. Magda believed they could not live in a world without Nazism. And so she made a decision that would horrify even the most hardened soldiers. April 30, 1945. Hitler spent the morning in his office. He signed his final orders, appointed Admiral Karl Donitz as successor, and said goodbye to his staff. Then he retreated to his bedroom with Eva. Minutes later, a gunshot. The guards entered. Hitler was dead, a bullet to the temple. Eva lay beside him. No signs of violence, only a cyanide capsule. Their bodies were carried up to the surface, doused in gasoline, and burned. It was Hitler's final wish, that his corpse not fall into enemy hands. Part of it burned. Part would later be found by Soviet soldiers. Meanwhile, in the bunker, another act of tragedy unfolded. Magda Goebbels poisoned her children, one by one. Sleeping pills. Then cyanide. Only the eldest daughter, Helga, resisted. They held her down. Then Joseph and Magda took their own lives, he with a pistol, she with poison. The bunker filled with the stench of death. Panic spread. Those still able to flee made desperate attempts to escape through Soviet lines. The rest surrendered. After the war, the bunker was not immediately destroyed. Soviet troops studied it carefully, made sketches, wrote reports. Later, most of the structure was demolished. But some fragments remained. In the 1980s, the area was redeveloped. The entrances were sealed. Today, a regular residential block stands on the site. A parking lot. Only a small plaque in German, no photos, no grandeur, quietly states, "The Führerbunker stood here." But behind that modest marker lies a symbol. Not of greatness, but of collapse. A symbol of how absolute power leads to absolute ruin. A bunker built for protection became a prison. A bunker meant for survival became a grave. A bunker where orders of destruction were given, became the scene of total defeat. The story of the bunker is not just about walls and rooms. It's a story of an ending. Of people trapped in the cage of their own ideology. Of fear, cowardice, betrayal, and the inevitability of reckoning. And perhaps this is why we still study it, down to every millimeter. Because within those concrete walls, it wasn't just a man who died. An idea died there, too. And if you had the chance to go down into that dark, damp, cursed place, would you? Or are there places best left buried forever?